Count them, just 7 weeks to go till the regular season starts. And that means it's time for us to play Buy or Sell, Seth Trimble edition.
This is Tyler Hansbrough, and you're listening to Locked On Tar Heels.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, what's up? It's Thursday, September 18th, 2025. Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast, the only daily North Carolina show out there. I'm your host, Isaac Schade. You're joining me at the place to get your Tar Heels content every single day. It's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks so much for making us your first listener watch to get your Wednesday going the right way. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if that bet wins, you're going to get $300 back in bonus bets that you can use all across the app. Make sure you go and download it today. Want to welcome in all our everydayers, all the great members of the Locked On Tar Heels Discord. That thing is starting to really pick up as football season's going and we get closer to basketball season. Come join us. We'd love to see you in there. The link's in the show notes. And welcome to our Locked On Tar Heels insiders as well. Joining me on the show today, our good friend, mine and yours, Coach Bill Robinson, the head coach of the Milligan University Buffaloes, and by the way, a 2-decade veteran of Carolina's summer basketball camp, which is called Carolina Basketball School, aptly also the name of the book that Coach has written about it. Carolina Basketball School, History, Stories, and Drills. Make sure you check out that. You can buy it on Amazon or from Coach or wherever. Also from Alumni Hall there on Franklin Street. That's another great place to go pick it up as well. Coach, here's what we're doing today. Here's kind of the conceit of the show. We are 7 weeks away from the start of the season. Who's number 7 for the Tar Heels? None other than Seth Trimble. And that means we're going to play a game of buy, sell, or hold, all relating to something about Seth Trimble and what he's going to do in his senior year. I just thought this would be a big fun game for us to play. So this is how it works, guys. I will pose a statement to Coach Rob. If he believes in it, he will buy it. If he doesn't think it will happen, he'll sell it. And if he's like, too early to make the call, we'll hold on it instead of buying or selling. Makes sense. I know it does to me, and I know it does to Coach because I already made sure it makes sense to him. And here we go. Number 1, Seth Trimble right now has 635 career points, Coach Rob. So I thought about making this first one. Seth Trimble becomes the 82nd 1,000-point scorer at North Carolina. But look, that was too simple for you, Coach, and I thought that would be an easy buy, so I'm making it tougher. Here's my new number for you. Can Seth Trimble get to 1,200 career points? And I'll explain to you how I got to that number, but that would mean he would need 565 points this season.
I'm going to buy it. I just think that his development has been such a huge increase from the time he was a freshman till now. He's developed his skill. His confidence is through the roof. From what I saw, he's just conditioned in a way that now his ability to play more minutes, which will allow him to get more shots, which will allow him to score more points. I think those are the type of things that as he continues to just seek that competitive greatness that on a daily basis, he has to find a way to make an impact. And right now, as the leader and the senior that he is, scoring is going to be a big part of that. So I see him scoring more than 15.7 per game for the entire year.
Yeah, and that was when I started looking at the numbers. When I initially wanted to make it 1,000 points, it would have him scoring less points than he did last year. I was like, come on, man, that's the easiest buy ever, assuming he's healthy, which that's going to be really cool for Seth to hit that threshold this year, by the way. But yeah, if so, Coach, the way I figured 1,200 points was if you assume 36 games, which would be the 31 regular season games plus 5 postseason games. So that could be any combination of 2 ACC games, 3 NCAA tournament games, 3 ACC tournament games, 2 NCAA tournaments. So it could obviously be more, but I feel like that's a safe number for this team, 5 postseason games. And so that would come out to 15.7. And as Coach said, for those of you who are regulars and everydayers, you know that a couple weeks ago, Coach said he now believes that Seth will be the leading scorer on this team. And so dadgummit, he better be getting 15.7 or better a game, right, Coach?
Yeah, and I think it will be more of a balanced scoring. I don't think he needs to score 25. But look, he's put in a ton of hard work I mean, his industriousness over the period of his time here has just been incredible. So when you put in the hard work, then you earn the shots, you earn the opportunity. Nobody's going to question when he takes a shot, maybe even take a bad shot. But when he's aggressive, I think they're going to be better. And I do think with the shooting, with them extended and that lane being open more, he's going to get more opportunities to get to the rim. And we're going to talk about free throw shooting later on in the show. But I do think he'll shoot more free throws than he did last year too, and that will help obviously with his points per game.
And Coach, when I started thinking about it, for those who are unaware, I keep extensive record books of my own. I know Carolina has their official one, but I on my Google Drive have just tons and tons and tons and tons of data that I've kept through the years, and one of which is a career scoring list of literally every point that's ever been scored for Carolina, and a single season scoring list. And so for Seth to get to 1,200, he needs 565 points. Coach, that's been achieved 61 times in Carolina history. And so when I put it in those terms, I'm like, yeah, that feels very doable for him. I could see that as a reality. And by the way, if Seth got to 1,200 total points from a career standpoint, 1,200 would put him in 64th place, just behind a guy named Sean May and another guy named James Worthy and a guy named Harrison Barnes, who were just above the 1,200 mark. That ain't bad company for Seth Trimble to find himself in.
No, that's pretty impressive in company. And I guarantee you he's not looking at that kind of stuff. He's not worried about that. He wants to get to that Final Four. He wants to be a national champion. I think that's what the most important thing is. But he's been through the wars that some of these other guys. So I expect him to be more poised in those situations, more confident in those situations. And when that time comes for that big time shot or that play at the end of the game, I don't think he has to be the guy. I think he can be some other people, but I don't think he's going to shy away from the moment either.
Yeah, he definitely. I mean, we saw him. Gosh, let me make sure I'm thinking of the right game. Michigan State in the Maui Invitational last year. He hit that big time shot to send that game to overtime.
Huge.
Carolina obviously ultimately fell, unfortunately, but yeah, that's a great point, Coach. He's not afraid of stepping up, and I think this year will be no different. I also think he's not afraid to, if somebody else has a better shot in a moment like that, to give them the opportunity as well. And so that'll be neat. Yep. Also, thinking back to those guys I mentioned of Sean May, James Worthy, and Harrison Barnes. Yes, I hear everyone screaming, but they only played 2 or 3 years at Carolina. Fine, sure, whatever. But ultimately, to be a 1,200 point scorer, to be one of the top 70 scorers ever in North Carolina history, man, that is putting yourself amongst some of the greatest college basketball players of all time. To say, that you are one of the 82 players at North Carolina that have scored 1,000 points. By the way, the D1 team with the most 1,000-point scorers in the country. That's just something worth celebrating.
Yeah, and you made a great point about him also sharing the basketball. It's having self-control, not to have to force everything, but just making great decisions. And I think that's the maturity that I've seen in the difference in the last 3 years, is that he has become more of a well-rounded player. It's not like he can only do one thing.
Okay, well, you know what, Coach? That's kind of a great transition, because the next buy, sell, hold we're going to get to is double-doubles. Seth doesn't have any points, assist double-doubles, but he did record the first 3 points, rebounds double-doubles of his career last year. How many can he add to it this year? That's going to be the topic of our next buy, sell, hold, coming up in just a second. Right after I tell you about DoorDash. It's almost the weekend, and that means it's time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order, these players delivered when it mattered most. Let's break down who we're going to talk about today. For North Carolina, Juju June, Damon June delivered in a big way. In his first career start, he rushed 14 times for 148 yards and 1 touchdown, plus 1 extra catch for 19 more yards. When the pressure was on, this true freshman came through. No hesitation, no delay. And if you've been watching week after week, this performance wasn't a fluke. We saw glimpses of it the week before. Juju is now on a streak. And just like he delivered for the Tar Heels, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays. With DoorDash Streaks, you save every Saturday you order. Stack it up all season and you can save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep that streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period will run all the way through November 18th. This episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if that bet wins, you're going to get $300 to spend in bonus bets all across the app. One of the great things about FanDuel is that it fits however you like to bet, whether it's player props, building a same-game parlay, or even jumping in live as all the action is unfolding. It makes every game more exciting, so whether you're watching your team, maybe just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup, whatever it is, it's quick, it's easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to every Sunday. Right now, as we look ahead to Carolina's football game on Saturday, unfortunately, the Tar Heels are 6.5-point underdogs down in Orlando. If you think they can cover that, get on in on the action. Are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. Once again, that's FanDuel.com. Coach, we're right back into it with another buy, sell, or hold Seth Trimble style. Something I forgot to mention in the first segment is we'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Each of these, would you buy, would you sell, or would you hold? We started by talking about Seth Trimble's points in his senior year. Let's move now to double-doubles because, Coach, as a reminder, for a lot of last year, Seth Trimble was Carolina's leading rebounder, finished second overall behind only then Allen Lubin. And so, Coach, last year, Seth had 3 career double-doubles. We'll unpack what those were here in a minute. But here's the buy, sell, or hold. Seth Trimble this year will record 5 or more double-doubles.
Yeah, I'm going to sell this one. And it's not that I don't think that he can stuff the stat sheet. It's more about what the other pieces on the floor are. I don't think they need him to rebound as much as they did last year, especially with Caleb and Henry coming in.
Don't need
Yeah,
him to
yeah,
rebound.
we really don't need it. So, and again, he's more worried and about the whole team spirit, about winning, and it's not about his stats. It's not about trying to get these double doubles. I think he can still end up with 3 or 4. I don't think he'll get to 5, and I do think he'll have more assists in a game than 5. But it's hard to get 10. Let's be honest. It's really hard to get 10 assists in a game, and I could see him getting 7 or 8 in a game or two. But I do think it's going to be a little bit less than 5.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, Coach. And you laid that out perfectly in the same kind of way I was thinking. If I was asking myself, I too would have sold on this one. And it's a good thing because Carolina has focused on getting bigger. We've talked about it so much. Last year, 2 players, 6'10" or taller. This year, 6 of them. And it's not just there in the front court. It's on the wings. It's in the back court. It's everywhere. So Seth doesn't have to do as much. When we talk about Seth being the second leading rebounder last year, we don't say that, yay. We say that like, oh no, Seth Trimble had to be the second, right? So this is a good thing that this change is going to happen. By the way, those 3 double-doubles last year, the one was against Boston College in overtime. Coach, 18 points, 12 boards in that one. He had 10 and 12 against Pitt. And then that Dayton game in Maui, Coach, 27 points, 10 rebounds. Absurd performance from Seth Trimble. As you said, his career high is 5 assists. And Coach, here's something that I'd be curious to get to guess at. As you said, very difficult to get up to 10 assists, especially with multiple ball handlers on this team, right? Like if he was tasked with, you are the sole point guard, but no, it will be him. It will be Kyan. It will be Luka, etc. But do you think there's a world in which he could get this season both at least 1 points and rebounds double-double and 1 points and assist double-double? Like, do you see him being able to get to 10 at least once?
Yeah, I do. And I think a lot of it is towards his loyalty towards his teammates and trusting them to be able to make shots. You have to have faith in those guys to be able to make shots. That's why assists is so hard, because you're actually relying on somebody else to get you a stat. But he's developed great friendships with these guys. His enthusiasm in practice was very evident. You could tell he liked everybody. Everybody liked him. So now you got opportunities for him. It's different when that guy is open and you trust him, you give him that pass. And when you like each other, when you receive that pass, you really want to make that shot. I mean, it's different. And I know you always want to make a shot, let's be honest, but it is different when you see somebody sharing the basketball. I used to hate missing a shot and somebody getting a foul over the back. It used to drive me nuts because it was my fault that he got the foul. Well, in the same sense, it's my fault if I don't make this shot that he doesn't get that assist. And if you like each other, you care about each other, you care about the team, you really want to perform well for your teammates as much as you want to perform well for yourself.
Speaking of which, just a quick reminder, we'll talk about this more as we get to the season, that continuation is going to be a thing in Division I college basketball this year. So that's going to be interesting to see how that wrinkle applies. Coach, my brain is now spinning on this whole thing to think about if there's been a Tar Heel that in the same season has recorded one of each of those varieties of double-doubles that we mentioned. Obviously, you can think of guys who have done it maybe points and blocks as well as points and rebounds in the same season, like a Brendan Haywood or something like that. I'd have to go back and check that as well. But now I'm really curious if that's ever happened. Somebody getting a points rebounds double-double and a points assist double-double in the same season.
It's got to happen somewhere along the way. I'm thinking Ty Lawson, maybe somebody like that who was so quick and he was able to, grab rebounds and go and get assists and even steals. I don't think he ever had 10. Maybe, he's close. I know he was close to having 10 in a game, but I think it's 8 or 9 is his record, something like that. But I would not be shocked in the history of Carolina basketball to see somebody having double doubles in both those.
Ty's, I'm looking in real time as you're talking here. Ty's career high in steals was 8. He had 21 points and 6 assists in that game, Coach, and 4 rebounds. That was against, that was the national championship game. Good.
Yeah, I was at that game. I remember that game. Yeah.
Gosh.
I was sitting with Porky that day.
Ty Lawson's junior year has got to go down as one of the single best individual seasons in Carolina history. My word. Okay. Assists. Ty had 1, 2, 3, 4 points, assists, double-doubles. And he never got to 10 rebounds. His career high was 9 against Florida State one time. So, even the great Ty Lawson never quite got there. But, man, I might have to go do some research. But I wish there was a way I could, refine it to where I'm like, I'm going to look at these people and then give up. Because good and grief, going back through the annals of Carolina history would be difficult on that. And I love research, but that one would be pretty tough. Coach, what of these two that we've kind of mentioned here in this segment, assisting and rebounding, I think I know your answer to this, but it comes to me to ask you, which of those two roles do you think is more important for Seth this year, assister or rebounder?
I think it's the assist, and I think it's obvious because the rebounding it should be taken care of by other people. But he should have the ball in his hands a bunch. I'm not saying all the time, but he should have the ball in his hands. And if they continue to run the stuff that I think they're going to run, he's going to have gaps. He's going to have opportunities. And when the help comes, he's got to make those decisions. He's got to, there's a cooperation that you have to have as a team to know when to make that extra pass and when to make that finish. And we all know he's a great finisher at the rim, but the other teams know that too, and I think you'll see more help come, and sometimes bigger, more athletic help. It's just the right decision is making that extra pass. Then he's going to create. And we talk about hockey assists too. I think that one pass and the extra pass, and that takes away from assist totals. But again, he doesn't care as long as we're making buckets. That's the most important part.
Yep. Whether he is the pass that is the one before the bucket or the one that leads to the pass that leads to the bucket, it doesn't matter. If we can get defense scrambling and recovering and struggling to get there and ultimately score, then that is a big win. And if Seth's penetration can start that, then all the more important. Now, Coach, you mentioned it earlier. Seth's free throw percentage took a massive, and that is not an exaggeration, a massive leap last year. Is that repeatable? And what's going to happen with Seth's three-point percentage this year? We're going to do a buy, sell, hold with each of those to wrap the show coming up in just a second. Right after I tell you about Mazda, who crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride, with more IIHS Top Safety Pick Award pluses than anyone else as of August 2025. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda brings this same intention to how they craft every model. You can feel that incredible Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to available Nappa leather upholstery. With all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through almost any season. Because with Mazda, everyday drives feel like anything but, from smooth handling to intuitive controls. Like our players for the Tar Heels, Mazda sweats every detail. You know that's true of Seth Trimble, because when you make every move count, impossible, that becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. All right, Coach, one more segment of buy, sell, hold for Seth Trimble today. We're going to do 2 of them in this segment, but each revolving around something to do with Seth's shooting percentage. That's a tough phrase to say. Seth's shooting percentage. We're going to start with his free throws. Coach, I want to give some context first to why I'm going to give the statement I'm going to. Seth's freshman year, he shot 54.8% from the free throw line. His sophomore year, 66.7%, neither of which were very good, if we're being honest. Now, obviously, a smaller sample size, he wasn't playing as much, whatever. This past year, his junior year, Seth went from 54.8 to 66.7 to last year, 82.4%, coach, on 142 attempts. So both the volume and the percentage took precipitous leaps. So my buy, sell, hold for you. Seth will once again shoot 80% or better on his free throws.
I'm going to buy it, but I'm not going to buy it a whole lot more than what he shot this year. I think, and part of that is minutes go up, legs get tired, late game free throws. It makes your percentage. I mean, if you're making 4 out of 5 and playing 33, 35 minutes a game, that's super impressive because it means you're in great shape. And he's got to continue to take the initiative to attack the rim and do it on a consistent basis. But he's got to be able to, physically be able to still have some legs left late in the game to make those free throws. So I wouldn't be surprised if he shoots, 80, 82 again. But I don't think it's going to make another huge leap like we talked about from previous years.
That would make a bunch of sense to me, Coach. I see that as a strong possibility. Especially as you said, with all the work and the time and effort and energy he's put in, the growth he's had, it just seems to make sense. And going further on that, and Coach, I would buy this as well in the same thing, right? In the low 80s, and that's great. But if he does that, last year at SC Derby, Luka Bogavac, 87% from the free throw line. Last year at Colorado State, Kyan Evans, 85.2% at the free throw line. Late game scenarios, put on your Coach Bill Robinson hat here. How comfortable does it make you to know that you're starting 1, 2, and 3 all shoot 80% plus at the free throw line?
Oh, I love it. And again, late situations, you can also go small at the big spots and put some more. You can put Jonathan Powell on the floor and some of those other shooters that can make free throws late too. It just gives you a piece. It's like having a great bullpen in baseball. You know that if you get to a certain point in the game that you can pretty much play it out and know that you're going to make free throws down the stretch just to finish it. So I love that fact. And I think all three of those guys are going to shoot a lot of free throws too. So Kyan maybe not shoot a ton, but I do think that having that kind of finishing power is something that a coach gets very excited about.
Man, and Seth, we talked about when you were talking about Seth's willingness to take a shot late earlier, and we talked about that Michigan State game. I'm also now reminded of multiple games in which he hit critical late game free throws to either put Carolina over the top or to put them in situation to win late game. And I feel like maybe it was the Duke game that Carolina almost won in the ACC tournament. Don't quote me on that. And maybe the Boston College game that they pulled out with Drake Powell's heroics. I can't remember which ones it was for certain. I'm sure listeners and viewers are screaming the correct answer to this, and I'll have to go back and look at it later. Maybe while you talk next, I'll go look at it. But I'm just reminded of Seth's, again, ability and willingness to step up and knock it down, and that's such an encouragement. Coach, let's move to the three-point shooting now. And this is an area where Seth has gone up and down a little bit and not necessarily had a ton of volume. His freshman year, Seth had just 6 attempts. So we throw that. I mean, goodness gracious, when you talk small sample size, that's infinitesimal. His sophomore year shot 41.9%, which is a phenomenal percentage. But again, low sample size. That's just 31 attempts. Last year, his junior year, Seth shot, here we go again with trouble speaking words good, 26.6% from the free throw line. But here's the breakdown we got to remember. Pre-head injury, Coach, he shot 38.5%. Post-injury, he shot 18.2%. There was a clear and obvious demarcation line there. But that leads us and puts us in a position where this is a very interesting buy, sell, hold, because it's what is the real Seth Trimble from beyond the arc. So, Coach, here's your buy, sell, hold. Seth Trimble will shoot 35% or better from 3 season long.
You put that number at the exact point where it makes it hard. And I think I'm gonna sell it. and I think it's going to be very close. But I think obviously between 42% and 26% is where I think he really, that's where he lies. I think it's going to be 33, 34%. I think it's going to be somewhere in that range. If he shoots high 30s, I'd be super excited. And obviously he's very aware of his shooting woes, to start his career. And then it's something he's worked a ton on. And I've seen the improvement, and he's making shots. And I would love to see it in the high 30s. But I do think it's going to be mid 30s. I think he's going to have a lot more attempts than what he's had, maybe as many as he's had the last 2 years combined.
Do you think this is the best collection of shooters he's had around him in terms of teammates?
No doubt. Yeah, I have no doubt about that at all. You got a lot of guys who can make shots all the way through the lineup, all the way through Henri making threes too, and Caleb making threes, and obviously Jarin can make threes too. So I do think it's a really strong lineup, and I don't think he's going to be relied heavily upon being a 3-point shooter. I think he's very alert of that. He doesn't have to have a heavy load on his shoulders of thinking he's a 3-point shooter, but at the same time, because he's so explosive, people will be very intent not to run out on him, and he's going to have to make some shots to get them to play him more straight up.
And gosh, I got to think that with that gravity that his teammates will draw, both opening up driving opportunities for him or driving closeouts, whatever it may be, but also gives him more open looks, which I guess sometimes is tougher to hit because it's like, how am I so open? Okay, I'll shoot. And then you think it to death, right? But I got to think the opportunity to shoot more open shots because of the gravity, again, of the guys around him could be a help in this buy-sell hold as well.
Yeah, and the thing that I would want him to do is either shoot it in rhythm or attack. Don't catch and hold and wonder. So and those decisions are made before the ball gets to you. So you already know whether you're open or whether you want to go. And sometimes it's what I did with my last shot. Did I make my last one? I want another one. And if I didn't make my last one, I'm attacking on this next one. You just want to see the ball go in again before you shoot that next three. So I think those are the type of maturity issues that he has already gone through, and he'll make those decisions very, very well.
And that's where the scouting report comes into play as well. Who's on me right now? What are their closeouts like? Can I get by him? Which the answer is yes for anyone Seth's playing. But how are they as a shot blocker? Are they going to break down and chop down, or do they just kind of lackadaisical lunge, or whatever it's going to be? That's a factor for a well-rounded and long tenured player like Seth, who will know all that. So
yeah, it's exciting to see his game develop. It's exciting to see him develop as a person, as a businessman now, even. But to see that development, and to be honest, he hasn't changed as a person. I haven't seen his personality change at all. He's still the same great guy that everybody loves being around.
Seth Trimble. I can't wait for this year for him, and I hope with everything in me that it is a crazily successful year for both him and the Tar Heels, just like, because yes, you want to see him succeed because you love the Tar Heels, but also just because of what a good dude he is, right? And you want to see those people succeed.
Yep.
Oh man, great show, you guys. Again, we want to hear from you. The buy, sell, and hold on all four of these. I am in lockstep with Coach's answers on each of them, so I didn't even really need to give my answers because I agree with Coach where he was at. But again, we want to hear yours too. Maybe that's hopping into the Locked On Tar Heels Discord and letting us know where you're at. Maybe it's hopping in and chatting with me on the Locked On Tar Heels Insiders communication about your thoughts as well. Both of those links are in the show notes. If you haven't subscribed to Locked On Tar Heels on YouTube and audio, please come do that right now so you don't miss a second of the show. Also, I didn't have time to go research that Seth Trimble free throw thing we were talking about, so come let me know in Discord or elsewhere as well, because I just don't have the time right now to go look it up. I apologize. You guys, it's always a great day to be a Tar Heel. Big thanks as always to Coach for his great insights and thoughts and everything as well. Again, go pick up his book, Carolina Basketball School. We'll talk again tomorrow to get ready for the weekend and everything it's going to entail. But until then, peace.